Tom Bureau and I have actually worked together in the past. When I was at Business Week, he was a partner of mine working at CNET. But Tom's had a very illustrious publishing career, starting out as starting out with an extensive background in running print and cross-media and digital content businesses. He was the co-founder and CEO of digital startup Silicon Media Group, which was acquired by CNET, and he led their expansion across Europe. After which he was a consultant working for various private equity funds, and eventually started working with a business that was acquired and became Immediate Media Company, all of which you can find a bit more detail in your program. But Tom has some fantastic experience, especially in digital, but across a lot of media platforms. So it'd be very insightful to hear his thoughts on how they are extending their media brand into products and services. And then secondly, you'll be hearing from Jeff Chang, who's the Vice President of Strategy and Business Development from Trends Media Group. He's in charge of 4 departments: strategy and investment, brand and market research, integrated marketing, and international licensing. He's working with international business partners throughout the world, and Trends Innovation is a business that is working in Asia across a number of lifestyle and fashion products, and again, very insightful to have not only his experience in the space, but also from a different part of the world. So before we jump into the presentation from Tom, I just have one more slide to show you. Obviously, we're setting the bar a little high to say that possibly one of your media brands might turn out to be Virgin. But just as a frame of reference, Virgin now employs more than 50,000 people. They have global brand revenues of over 15 billion pounds, or $24 billion in 2012. And at the end of the day, Virgin at its core is nothing more than a brand that extended into various products and services. So again, not trying to set the bar too high for Tom, but just to set the scene that there is obviously opportunity in extending brand into other products and services, and we now lead on to Tom. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mike, and you are setting the brand ridiculously high. So look, I'm really excited to be here, tell you a little bit about what we're doing. But to start with, I thought I'd just give you a little bit of background on Immediate Media Company. At the end of this year, it's going to be 2 years since we formed the company. We're still really quite young. We formed the business by merging BBC magazines that we acquired from the BBC back in November 2011, and Magicalia, which I was the chief exec of, which was a digital platform company. So right there, we're bringing together a traditional print business and a digital platform business, which I think sort of precedes some of what I'll tell you about. We're one of the biggest the magazine media companies in the UK. We have revenues of about $250 million, about 900 staff, with the 3rd biggest magazine circulation in the UK, the market leader in subscriptions, and we have a really rapidly growing digital business. We position ourselves as the special interest content and platform company. One of our key disciplines is that we focus specifically on special interest markets and the deeper engagement that we think in these troubled times for print, deep engagement in special interest gives us to actually develop the business. We focus on people's passions, on the stuff that they spend their time and their money on. The communities that are deeply engaged with their area of special interest. We want to be really exclusively focused on that. We're not very interested in general interest and some of the other areas that are actually really quite troubled in terms of building brands. But of course, we are first and foremost a content company, like most of the companies at FIPP, but our specific discipline is to focus on inspiring people's passions. But more than content, we are a platform business. A technology platform business which we've invested in, and we've created an end-to-end platform infrastructure, IP that we've developed in-house that we own, and that is optimized for developing our special interest brands, and actually a number of the other special interest brands that we work with outside of the company. The platform gives us tools to develop on a number of different levels and in a number of different ways. So we have platforms that cover online and mobile web, transactional and e-commerce, bespoke mobile and tablet, and digital newsstand and subscriptions. So alongside magazines, we have pretty much the end-to-end suite, and it gives us a number of key advantages, we think. The first is a real ability to control the pace of our development. So we have minimal need for difficult third-party solutions, difficult integrations that can be time-consuming and also costly. We have a low cost of ownership. All of our stuff integrates together. It all comes out the box. A lot of it is very, very easy to use and easy to operate, and it's allied to high levels of innovation. And I think thirdly, and perhaps most importantly, it gives us strategic freedom to develop our markets and brands based on the opportunities that we see. Our ambition is to be channel agnostic. We want to be as good at our non-print channels as we are at print. And that takes, a lot of people are talking about this stuff, but it takes a significant mind shift away from the traditional business and the way that the business has been structured. And that's something that we have done a lot of work on, but we've got further to go, but that's our stated aim. We're changing the center of gravity away from being a magazine publisher towards being a brand development business that, in special interest media that happens to be very good at print. Of course, we recognize that most of the companies here at FIPP are going to have some kind of similar strategy. The central question for all of us is going to be, can we execute on this kind of brand strategy? Can we successfully manage our business, investing in and developing in the right kind of skill sets and the right talent? Can we create the right culture and structures to create a sustainable model? The last slide on the media is that we've got some good news in our print business, and we're quite unusual in the UK market on this. Our print business is in great shape. It's in growth. The top chart there, the top line is our retail sales value over the last 2 years. We're in growth at about 4% per annum, which is in contrast to a market, which is the green line below, which is in negative territory of -8 to -10%. We've also built a really substantial subscription business. So our direct-to-consumer business is something we're very, very focused on, and we've seen a significant amount of growth as we've invested in skill sets, invested in our list. That list now stands at about 1.1 million. It's the market leader in the UK, and we're continuing to invest, especially as lots of digital subscriptions come on stream. But print is also in growth. So we're feeling pretty good about the backdrop of how we need to develop the business, but to develop the business we have to do. Because even though our print is unusual and in growth, we know it's not going to last that way forever. We've got a number of examples of how we're extending our brands, from using our platforms to putting entrepreneurial teams on specific projects, where we sort of have a horizontal and a vertical strategy. We have a horizontal strategy across all our brands, but in specific markets where we think there's a real opportunity, we're investing in entrepreneurial teams, kind of like startups within the corporate portfolio to really drive development. But I thought for today, and given the fact that, as you heard perhaps in the plenary session earlier, that the Radio Times is 90 years old this week, actually, and it's our biggest brand, I'd give you 2 examples from the Radio Times. The Radio Times is a really, really big brand. It's 90 years old. It started life as the organ of the BBC. These days it probably wouldn't be called that, but it started off basically being the way that the BBC published its information and all the access to its entertainment when it first obviously published it. Actually, the Radio Times predates television slightly. When it was just in radio. It showcases the best entertainment content in the UK, and it continues to dominate the premium TV and radio listings market in the UK. It's a $100 million revenue brand, over 800,000 copies every week, 2.2 million at Christmas in its legendary Christmas double issue, with a high-value AB1 audience, very unusual amongst listings magazines, so it has a big advertising business, and the audience is highly habituated with deep levels of trust. When we acquired the Radio Times, not quite 2 years ago, this is what the brand will look like. It was predominantly a magazine with a small, loss-making website. It now looks like this, and it's being developed on many, many different planes and in different directions. I thought I would today just focus on 2 of these. The first is focused on a brand extension, or the way that we're extending the brand for the existing audience, the existing readers. And the second is how we are launching new product to attract a new generation to the brand. So firstly, It's building an e-commerce transactional division to sell more products to the audience. In this case, the example we're looking at is the Radio Times travel business that we launched earlier this year. This is effectively a curated holiday and travel offer from selected hand-picked partners to a universe of people who trust the Radio Times. It's built around our database marketing business. One of the key investments that we made over the last 18 months is to develop a division that can help brands create transactional models. In other words, we're trying to think more like a retailer, not just to actually create e-commerce extensions, but to actually build a business that actually has people who are thinking like retailers and have the DNA of retailers in it. So what can we sell to our different brands? What can we sell beyond content? How can we increase the ARPU? How can we do that in a profitable way? We have over 7 million records on our database, all an attractive demographic, captured by a variety of different ways into that database. Subscriptions, both print and mobile, web users, competition entrants, buyers of products and services. And we're enriching that data. We're building contact strategies of how we can actually talk to those customers, how we can actually do more with them, and how we can build a retail strategy. But there are a number of elements that make up an enterprise transactional division. And we've had to invest in new technology, in new skills, and in new talent. The first is, underpinning the project, we've built a powerful single customer view database, integrating a suite of CRM and profiling technology. And we've also invested quite substantially in our direct marketing function, in some of those retail skill sets I was talking about. You have to have the right transactional platform skills, either because when you're looking at different models, you are, as the case with our gardening business, taking the transaction on your platform, or, as in the case of the travel business, whereby you are, the transaction is happening on a partner site. So you need to have the right skills to negotiate the right deal. We've actually got an e-commerce business that powers, it's a software as a service business, it powers about 50 e-commerce retail businesses in the UK. We've learned a lot about how to actually kind of deal with the rules of e-commerce from that. If you look at the sort of the light blue box, as you're leveraging your brand, it's really essential that you get your editorial and your brand marketing teams aligned with your transactional teams. So this is where the culture and the way that you work with your teams comes in. It can't be done in silos. You have to get people working together. That's been at times really painful, but actually we're now getting beyond that pain and moving into a stage where that's working well. It allows us to integrate offers, travel offers, into the core of the brand and in different areas. And of course, as we all know, analytics is a critical skill set. As you mine customer data, customers will tell you what they want if you've got the tools to interpret that. So once you've got the customer profile, once you understand who your customers are, you can focus on the right products from the right partners, and you can negotiate the right commercial offer. Not just the top-line commercials, not just what sort of share of revenue you're getting. But with this business, because it's a database marketing business, it's all about shared ownership of data. Who actually can put the data of the customer onto the database, make sure you're within data protection laws, and be able to continue the relationship. So that's quite complex. In this market, the partner takes the transactions. It requires deep integration. So we only worked with partners that were digitally savvy, that were not afraid of doing deep integrations, that, for example, would allow us to put our analytics packages into their products. That's actually quite a big step for a lot of people, but it's essential so that you can actually have the bond of trust with your partners. We then created a web offers platform, and we used that as a kind of front-end transactional platform to drive users to using an integrated marketing campaigns, using different channels, using print, using web, obviously direct marketing, email, and search to the RT travel brand. Now, the thing about the Radio Times is that TV content is a great inspirer for travel ideas. So not only do we have scale, we have a very, very focused AB1 demographic audience really, really consuming the content in a deep way. We've invested in creating a whole bunch of bespoke travel packages around content. You can see one of them here, which was around the David Attenborough Africa series. So you can see the attraction of that. You're reading about a feature about David Attenborough and the Africa series. You're inspired to watch the TV program. And actually, within the pages of the Radio Times, on the websites and in the marketing, is an offer for you to go on the holiday that traces his footsteps and allows you to actually go to all the different locations and to be done in a way that is very, very exciting. So you're creating content that has a value for the audience, but you're also using it as a lead generation mechanism, which is something that, as Mike will tell you, is something that B2B companies have been doing for a very long time, but now we're starting to see it happen for high-value items in B2C. This business is starting to scale really, really well. So we're on track to sell well over 1,000 holidays this year, and we expect to scale from there. And we're working on a bunch of other areas. We've launched into gardening, so there's a gardening product on the Radio Times, and also on some of our other brands. We're now working on financial services, which we think is a big opportunity for the Radio Times, especially for the later stage audience that we have on that magazine. And we're looking at a number of different products there, which will launch in the beginning of next calendar year. So we're quite excited about that, and it's taking the brand for that existing audience into a new direction. The second area I wanted to just give you a quick look at was a launch for the Radio Times into the second screen TV discovery space. The growth in digital devices, especially mobile and tablet, is changing the way people discover and consume TV content, which is clearly a core remit and a core reason to exist for the Radio Times. And we need the Radio Times, we want the Radio Times to be one of the leading brands to help a new generation find the best things to watch to get the most out of their TV consumption. And of course, there is a big problem that needs solving. I'm guessing that most people here know this problem of having hundreds and hundreds of channels, sitting there with an EPG in your hand, and there's nothing to watch. You can't find anything. It's a common problem, and the research we've done has showed that people are getting very frustrated by the ubiquity of choice, but no guide all the way through that. There's so much choice across, satellite TV, across on-demand platforms, across catch-up, that discovery is becoming a major problem. It's a really, really exciting space, and it's innovating very fast. There's lots of social TV startups that are coming out. The interesting thing about those are that they don't seem to be getting any real traction. There's lots of innovation around services provided, new choices for consumers, new ways to access content. But it's ever more important to find an easy way to look across all options and find the best thing to watch. So we're trying to solve this problem with the Radio Times. We're trying to reimagine the Radio Times for a new generation. And in a couple of weeks, we'll be launching Radio Times Discover TV, a significant new part of the brand family and quite a big launch with a significant amount of resource behind it. We're targeting a new generation of digitally savvy, affluent couples that either have babies or have young families. When you look at the research around TV usage, that's when TV usage absolutely spikes. If anyone has babies, you'll probably remember that you're actually in the house, you're watching it, and you've got to find something great to watch. Every day, our Discover TV editorial team will be curating the UK TV market to produce the best of what's on for you today, with recommendations drawn from all the sources, from live TV, from catch-up especially, and also from on-demand. We hope the choices will be inspiring, exciting, and we hope a little bit surprising. With this product, we're trying to bring together innovation in user experience and functionality allied to innovation in editorial curation. And editorial is absolutely at the heart of this product. It's also important that the experience is personalized and based on the TV package you have. We're trying to reimagine the Radio Times to extend it fundamentally in different directions into a new generation. It'll launch first on iPad, followed by iPhone, and then on other operating systems. And we're trying to create an experience that uses the best of the iPad, easy-to-use navigation with compelling imagery. We want to inspire users with great ideas of what to watch and get them really excited about their viewing. So what I thought I'd do is just give you a quick video that gives you a sense of the app. Can you play the video, please? So what we're trying to do here is use fantastic navigation. You can see the wheel motif that we've got on the right-hand side there, allied to really stunning imagery, which we generally have a fantastic archive and access for. The first place you arrive is on the 10 best to watch today. This can be drawn from live TV, catch-up or on-demand. They've been watched, they've been argued over, they've been selected by the Discover TV editorial team every single day. The wheel makes it easy for users to browse a particular category, for example, live sport, or to see a selection personalized on your subscription package. One of the most exciting areas of what to watch, we think, is around one of the services around catch-up, which we've invested a lot in. So you can see all of your best options across the whole of the market in one place. Once you've selected a program, you can read the review by RT critics, not a press release, which most of the other apps have. You can find loads of detail, lots of different viewing times, all the kind of different viewing furniture that you would expect, cast and crew, and so on. One of the best received areas in our user testing was the 10 free best films. Films are really important. If you're going to spend 2 hours watching something, you want to know it's good. We have 26,000 film reviews in our film database, so every film pretty much has a review. And we've aggregated all of the different trailers together, so you can also look at the review, you can look at the trailer, and understand whether you want to watch it. The wheel also allows us to try new things, surface new ideas, like the viral video of the day, where the editorial team will trawl the web looking for videos that are trending on YouTube or on all the other kind of on-demand platforms for that kind of snacking concept of you want something entertainment, you've got 5 minutes to look at it. So that's a kind of quick view on how we're innovating around discovery by putting editorial curation at the forefront of a technical approach. But we also needed to ensure that we had a great solution for people that want to browse the entire archive. So alongside the discovery world is a top quality listings engine. The focus is making something that's inherently complex super easy to use. And although there's a lot of functionality and technology in this product, it needs to be highly intuitive. You can go forward on a 2-week view. You can browse a day, find something that interests you. In this case, let's choose the Great British Bake Off there. You can get the details. You can favorite it. You can set up a reminder. You can add to calendar. We're very close to being adding remote record to this across the entire app. We're working with Virgin and Sky on that functionality. And also, in an age of catch-up, one thing that most apps don't do is have a backward view. So on this, you can go backwards. If you knew there was something on Friday the 13th, a couple of Fridays ago, you can browse backwards and choose that. Let's say you want to find Gino's Italian Escape, which seems appropriate. You can load that up, you can look at the information, and you can fire up, using the deep linking functionality, catch up within the iPad app itself. So that's a quick look at the Radio Times Discovery TV, which we're really excited about. We're getting it out in the market in the next couple of weeks. It's the start of the journey, and it's a way that we will be completely redeveloping and introducing the brand to a completely new audience. The good news is that Apple really likes it, so hopefully we're going to get a bit of promotion. And we think the future of the Radio Times brand is extremely exciting. It's a brand. It's not just a magazine, and we're looking to develop it in a whole bunch of other directions. So there's lots of other things I could have shown you about what we're doing. We're very excited about some of the brand extensions we're doing, and I hope that's giving you some sort of insight into what we're doing. Thank you very much.